Hey folks, we continue talking about how to teach our kids a biblical worldview. Last week I gave you 3 suggestions. The first of which was to read the Bible and to talk about application. Do those 2 things together. Secondly was there's so much curricula out there that you can buy with worldview. And thirdly was to use technology to your advantage with YouTube clips or podcast. And so I want to build on that today with 3 more suggestions. And the first one today, or the fourth one overall, is to talk about current events often in your home. Now for us, that's usually around the family meal table at night. I think it was Ronald Reagan says that all real change in America happens around the family meal table. And that's definitely true in our family. I will maybe read an article or one of the kids came across something that day and they will share it and we'll talk about it as a group. And when you talk about current events to your kids, I encourage you to be talking about 2 questions in that context. Number 1 is why? Why is this important? Why does this matter? Why is this relevant? Then number 2 is who says? Is it a cheap politician? Is it a true statesman? Is it a star or starlet out in Hollywood who can act but doesn't know politics? Is it a thoughtful radio program, a talking head of some kind? Is it a pastor? Who says? And above all, is it consistent with the scriptures? So talking about current events is very important. And what's really satisfying about this is it oftentimes begins to happen organically in your home. I think it was last Saturday, 10 of our 11 kids were home. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I came into the house. And all 5 of my boys, and a couple of the older girls were in the kitchen, and they were talking about something politically that had to do with how their generation thought. And it just kind of happened, and I just listened. I didn't even participate at all. I just listened. And it was very satisfying to hear them say that. And I know, again, homeschooling, sometimes we don't think we're doing a good job, a good enough job, but you'll be surprised things that your kids will be picking up on very subtly. So use current events to your advantage. Secondly, today, have resources available. We've used World Magazine. I think there's a World Teen Magazine as well. You'll chuckle at this, but I was at an event speaking with Kevin Swanson probably 3 years ago, and he was pitching his history book at that time. And he had a really very good price on it, so I just grabbed one. And I took that home and I decided to put it on the back of the toilet in my boys' bathroom. And I told them from now on, I want you, when you go down and go there, I want you to read that history book rather than reading your other books. And you'll be surprised what 2 or 3 pages, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day can do over a year's time. In some ways, it does even more because it's short snippets. It'll stick bigger, not get lost in an hour-long class. And so using those little minutes here and there and having resources available for them can be very powerful. Thirdly, I encourage you just to be very intentional about how you teach worldview. When you have current events, when you have resources around, and talk about your kids saying, guys, you only have so many hours in a day, so many minutes in a day. How will you use those days? One of my sons has a 50-minute commute to his co-op every morning and every evening. And I said, buddy, you can spend that time praying, listen to some good podcasts, or you can listen to radio that produces nothing in your mind or just kind of veg out on the way home. So I encourage you to get into that habit of spending that time very wisely. I've shared before when we work out, I've walked out there, we have an anchor speaker, and so it's pretty loud. Rather than having boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, the workout music, they have Ben Shapiro, John Maxwell, Rush Limbaugh has been on out there. When I go out in the morning, I usually have listen to Adam McManus, The Worldview in 5 minutes, and I also listen to Generations with Vision radio with Kevin Swanson. It takes about 25 minutes, so that kind of constitutes most of my morning workout. And so just that example, we teach our kids to use their time wisely. But it's not just about the information they're gaining, it's about the habits and the appetites they're setting. And that to me is the bigger issue. And so as we talk about worldview, understand in just having these resources available and in encouraging your kids to use their time wisely, you're creating a habit and an appetite that will hopefully serve them lifelong through. Hope this is encouraging. Hope it makes sense. This is Kirk Smith with ICHE's Take 5.